Hey guys, how you doing? Uncle Bob here once again with another video, and today we're going to be doing the DVD movie review of Nosferatu, which is the well-known horror film, and I believe the original old Nosferatu was. Now I'm not sure if there was one uh, of the original released, or whether there's been several releases of this. I don't really know too much about it. Uh, although since collecting horror stuff, I know about it briefly. I've seen people saying about it and having stuff in the collection. Know briefly stuff. I did see that there'd been a previous one released, but I'm not sure if there'd been others. I guess it'd been maybe a couple of releases, but then they released a new version of it at the sort of end of 2024. Oh, hang on. Was it released? Oh, I thought it was released then. Yeah, this was released at the end of 24 when it was still in the cinema. Because I was actually planning on going to see this at the cinema, but then didn't get round to seeing it, unfortunately. And yeah, so then yeah, it wasn't something that I'd usually be interested in seeing. I mean, usually, the horror films I like are usually Halloween, Friday the 13th. Pretty much, straightforward stuff that's usually like pretty much it's quite a basic plot, just a serial killer going around killing people. I'm not really a huge fan of stuff like supernatural and stuff like that, or stuff like this. To tell you the truth, that's just not really what I'm into. I just prefer like slashers and killers, stuff like that. But as I said, was planning on going to see it, but then just didn't. And then I thought I'll just end up getting it on DVD and having a look at it. And as I said, yeah, it was released there. The cast, it's quite a strong cast of well-known people, well-known actors. We've got Bill Skarsgård, who's been in a lot of films. Nicholas Hoyt, who's been in quite a few films now, even Beast in X-Men. Got Lily Rose Deep, I think she's been in a few films. Aaron Taylor Johnson, I think I might have heard him. He was in Kick-Ass. I'm pretty sure. I'm not sure I've heard that name before. Emma Corrin, not too familiar with. Willem Dafoe, obviously, I know he's been in loads of films, and obviously Green Goblin in Spider-Man. This is the extended cut, two versions of the film. I think it's the original cut and extended cut, so pretty strong cast. Now, the plot, which is, well, it's a bit complicated, so I'll just say what it is basically briefly. It's about this girl, I believe, called Ellen, years and years ago, centuries ago, whatever it was. Basically, she cries because she wants the companionship or friendship of a supernatural being, and then she cries, and then she awakens. Obviously, Nosferatu, which is a demon sort of creature, or um, some sort of creature. So yeah, she wants the friendship or company of supernatural being or something, or something like that. And then he hears her cries, and she awakens him by doing that somehow. And then yeah, she awakens him, and then I think it's like sometime years later she gets married or something to some guy. And then I think Nosferatu reappears and then starts eating bodies or killing bodies. It's quite difficult to understand, to be honest. I'm going to have to watch this again. I saw it sort of, when I watched it, sort of like watched it briefly, but I'll have to watch it again to sort of really sort of get really. I mean, I only get the gist of what was going on. So basically, yeah, she, as I said, she wakens up years later. I think it's supposed to be years later, and he comes back, and then I can't remember if she helps kill people, whether it's just him killing people. Anyway, he comes back, starts killing people, and then the townspeople start finding out about it, and then try and uh, find out about him, and you know, obviously try and track him down and kill him or whatever. It's quite difficult to understand because there's a few. Because it's quite a long film, so it's quite hard to understand. But you get the gist of what's going on. It's about a supernatural being is awakened, Nosferatu, and then it's sort of yeah. And as I said, it's killings going on, and then they find out about it, and it's basically just that, and it's a lot of just a lot of the plot going on in it, explaining stuff, and it does seem a bit complicated, as I said. Not a massive fan of supernatural stuff, but I thought I'd give it a go anyway. Uh, Now this is sort of it's it is sort of confusing at times to sort of understand like what's sort of going on at times. But as I said, you know briefly what's going on. I wouldn't say I felt that excited to watch it. I did feel quite interested to see because I didn't really know much about it, and I was, when I was watching, I thought, oh, this could be quite interesting. Uh, and yeah, so I thought, give it a go. Could be quite interesting. I must admit, sometimes it felt like it was a bit boring. I must admit, it's sort of like a case of just waiting for something to happen. And I thought, oh, maybe once the action starts going on, killings taking place, it might get a bit more interesting. And it sort of did in a way, but it was sort of like, yeah, sometimes it became a bit too much when you sort of like see him eating flesh and bodies and stuff, which wasn't going on a lot of times, but when it was, it seemed a bit too much. Uh, I mean, it's not something that I probably haven't seen before in other movies where there's been flesh, but when it sort of was, it was sort of like, yeah. Uh, yeah, I mean, as I said, it's not my usual type of film, but I think it's sort of, yeah, as I said, it's sort of, do feel, interested in it and seeing the story because something like this does quite have a complicated story and could be something like this interesting when you first see it. You want to know what's going on, but I think at times it did feel like it was too long and it was going on too long. But yeah, I think it's interesting, maybe not exciting, but yeah. So good and bad. I would say, to be honest, the good being. Maybe the good was just a horror. I guess you could say the good was sort of an interesting, sort of complicated storyline, which you appreciate something being more than just straightforward. Good, I guess some of the killings, but it wasn't. I wouldn't say that great. Strong cast. Willem Dafoe and a couple of the others. So quite a well-known cast. So I would give them. Say I would say that was a good thing. Visually, I think it didn't look too bad. What else? Yeah, interesting. What I'd say is bad. Maybe probably when I've seen stuff from the old stuff. I haven't seen the actual old version of it, but the old, from what I've seen, probably say the old one looked a bit better. I'd say, but that's just my opinion. Would say the other thing is bad. It's sort of like 2 hours. I think it's 2 hours or 2 hours just over. It seemed maybe a bit too long, if I'm being honest. Maybe say about 15-20 minutes less, but I can understand trying to be it because of the complicated sort of storyline and going into the plot and stuff. So maybe too long, I sort of guess. Sort of at times, as I said, interesting when you first see it, but sort of sometimes when not much going on, sort of like boring and just sort of like, yeah, just sort of seem to drag on too long. Sometimes where it's sort of eating flesh and stuff, sort of sometimes going to be a bit not able to watch, but sort of yeah, just a bit much when you see someone getting eaten. But bad, I'd say, because as I said, it's just as I said, I just prefer sort of straightforward serial killers. Slasher type stuff. So this wasn't really my tea. So I'd say sort of half good and sort of half bad, I guess. But I mean that's just my views on it. It's just probably because I'm not really into these type of films. Um, I'd I could go to maybe say 6 out of 10 on this. I guess I could say 5, but I'll say 6 out of 10 just to be generous. I wouldn't say it's like it's certainly not a perfect 10. I wouldn't even say it's like 7 or 8, but I'd say maybe like I'd say I could say it's 5. I guess I'd say 5, but I'd say being generous 6. But yeah, that's going to be my review of this. Didn't want to do it too long. And yeah, it's all right. It's worth a look if you're into just general horror, and I will be looking at it again to sort of get more of an understanding of it. But yeah, that's going to be my review of it, guys. So I hope you guys enjoy it. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and see you guys next video. Take care, bye for now. See you soon. Thanks for watching.